What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Dysig of the Dead. We're back with another video, and we're going to react to something. I'm going to do this for my good buddy, Metal Rain Austin. For those who don't know, Metal Rain Austin is a Zack Snyder guy, and he doesn't really like James Gunn. I don't like James Gunn, so, well, I don't want to say that. I like James Gunn, I just don't like James Gunn's DCU. And it's pretty clear that the DCU is dead on arrival, so it is the dead cinematic universe. But I think James Gunn is a good, talented director, just not the guy for the job here. But as I've been roasting Supergirl and roasting the DCU and James Gunn, Metal Rain Austin has really enjoyed it. So he suggested that I watch this new Mr. Grizzy video. DCU podcast host attacks fans and blames them for Supergirl failure. Of course, we knew this was going to happen once the movie failed, so let's check this out. Mr. Grizzy always has good videos. Even if Metal Rain Austin never suggested this to me, I still would have watched Mr. Grizzy's video. So let's check it out.
And I think my biggest frustration with this one is that what you're speaking to right now about Supergirl, it's such an obvious story of a broken person that is suffering. And the most things I've seen are like, I wouldn't want my daughter to look up to an alcoholic.
That's right. Because there's no redemption story for Kara Zor-El in this movie. She's just a bum bitch alcoholic. So yeah, I wouldn't want to take my daughter to come see this movie either, because the messaging is not good.
Fuck you. There are two kinds of angry people, explosive and implosive. Explosive is the kind of individual that you see screaming at the cashier for not taking your coupons. Implosive is the cashier who remains quiet day after day and finally shoots everyone in the store.
I get angry because it gives me such a pause of like, not only are they intentionally being fucking daft, but they're maligning people's pain and suffering for the sake of their own fucked argument.
Oh, poor Coy. Poor Coy. Don't you feel bad for people like this? I don't. I certainly don't. This guy works for DC. He works for DC Studios. He sold his soul to James Gunn and DC and Warner Brothers. And he's getting all up in his feet. He's getting butthurt because people didn't like the Supergirl movie. Because the Supergirl movie is going to flop as expected. And so he thinks that he's the logical person in the room in this argument. He's not. And you can tell by how angry he is about it. Oh, I love seeing it. I love seeing it.
And it just embarrasses me to be part of the same fucking species as each other.
Don't worry. We're embarrassed to be a part of the same species as you.
The cashier.
Jesus Christ. All right, so Soy Gendarou of DC Studios Showcase, as you just heard, is very disappointed in DC fans for not accepting James Gunn's Supergirl, the film he spent 2 years promoting and selling out for.
This is a property that is very near and dear to my heart. I've been a part of this journey to Supergirl for about 2 years, so this meant a lot to me to see. I'm not worried about the DCU. I know people are going to only think that's because I work with them. I'm filming this moments after seeing the trailer with Millie Alcock, with director Craig Gillespie, with James Gunn and Peter Safran. I'm also...
See how this guy, like, he basically sold his soul to be a fucking meat puppet for DC, for Warner Brothers, for James Gunn. Like, this dude has no soul in his eyes. It is just pure sellout.
Moments after seeing the trailer with Millie Alcock, with director Craig Gillespie, with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and also the comic correspondent for DC Studios.
It's like people only do things because they get paid.
I run a podcast, no producer, no...
And I don't have YouTube Premium, so I still got to deal with that.
So when Supergirl predictably failed at the box office, Soy here obviously isn't going to criticize his boss or the studio he works for, despite it being 100% their fault for giving us a shit movie.
Yes.
He's going to blame the toxic fans and the chuds who refuse to settle for mediocrity.
But I think the movie has merit that really can't be enjoyed in this climate. And that's been my struggle is I didn't think this was the greatest thing ever. I didn't think it was the worst thing ever, but it's a comic book movie, so one must. You can't think a movie is okay in 2026. You can only TikTok and like have hyperbole.
See, I think 28 years later, The Bone Temple was just okay. It was better than 28 years later, and so I felt like there are ways you could say, oh, the movie's just okay. Supergirl is dog shit. Like, it's a really bad movie. And I didn't hate the movie. I was just apathetic. I stopped caring. I was like, DCU's cooked. It's done. my hatred has gone nowhere. Any amount of hate I show for this movie will be nullified and void because nobody's listening to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grow apathetic. I'm going to start voting with my wallet, and I'm going to stop paying to see movies like this because I'm bored. Not because I hate the movie, not because I hate Millie Alcock or anything. It's because the movie was not entertaining. I was bored. I moved on. But I'm here now to get my money's worth out of this DCU, and I'm getting my money's worth out of these shills because I guess we could call him Soy Jandro, is on The Real Rejects with Greg Alba, the guy who called me a bunch of horrible names before blocking me on Instagram like a coward because he's a coward.
And for some dumb reason, Soy thought it would be a good idea to post this on X, and he's getting absolutely blasted for it. This guy's trying desperately to save James Gunn's DCU because he is in James Gunn's pay books for doing the DCU podcasts. Paramount, your first job is to fire him as James Gunn's balls licker. The influencers couldn't save the movie from reviews, so now they're on to plan B. Blame the audience.
Boom!
How can little girls relate to being a drunk murderer? That's
Exactly.
the question.
I'm way more concerned with the women of tomorrow than them adapting Woman of Tomorrow. And so my focus is I've got the comic. If I want the comic, I want little girls to have a hero. And then the stupidest people were all like, there are female heroes. It was the fucking 21st Marvel movie till we got a female-led superhero film. 21 fucking movies in.
Here comes the male feminist virtue signaling, you guys. Brace yourselves.
I'm proud of DC for doing it their second movie, but of course it's going to have this kind of response.
Why not have Wonder Woman then? Why not do Wonder Woman? I mean, it's pretty clear that whenever Zack Snyder was at DC, Wonder Woman was still at least a moderately decent movie. It was pretty good up until the last act, but nonetheless, Wonder Woman would have been a perfect suitable fit instead of Supergirl. This argument falls on its face because all this activist bootlicking cuck can do is virtue signal to try and save the DCU. It's not going to work, Soy.
So I was speaking to those people. I'm also speaking to people that are going to see a girl that actually has something to say and actually has an experience and actually has trauma and actually has an eye line of connectivity while still being super. I'm sorry, I never related to a goddess from Paradise Island. I think she's awesome. I love that character. I think even that's a better movie. But I don't relate to Wonder Woman.
So you relate to being a drunken murderer then? You only like your women if they have trauma? What happened to the strong woman archetype? What happened to strong women? Nah, we gotta have horrible people, horrible drunk alcoholic women with trauma they gotta deal with, because that's a more interesting story. This guy likes traumatized women. That's pretty fucked up.
I think if I have a daughter, she will at first. She'll be like, cool, a hero, like she'll play Wonder Woman, but I think Supergirl's more relatable. What? So the goddess from Paradise Island is not all that relatable, but the character with godlike powers from another planet is? Alright. I really just I barely touched the internet this week. Who's a pussy? Let's go. Probably gonna need to take another week off after people see the I'm embarrassed to be a part of the same species as the Chuds comment.
It's so loud that I'm just pre-exhausted for the women and girls getting movies that are okay when I want better for them.
Maybe the women and girls should have gone out and seen Supergirl. Clearly they didn't. You think that half the population of the world would have gone out to see this movie, but nah, they couldn't even pull up to do 100 million over the course of the weekend, bro. Barely.
And so I feel automatically defensive of like, I want to have all of these things to praise, and so those are coming out louder, even though the movie I thought was okay.
Then why are you attacking the fans? You think that they are doing damage to female-led superhero movies? They're not. They're just a reaction to the real problem, which is the studio and the creative.
I'm so disappointed in humanity every day, dude. My faith in humanity is always at odds when movies...
Well, you know, your faith in humanity means fucking nothing to people like me, because we know that this asshole cleaner is probably one of those types. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. One of those types that would be like, it's okay to kill the wrong people. It's okay to go out there and murk some right-wing fascists, because doing that would save the world. But no, keeping them alive would really take away his faith in humanity. No, fuck this guy. He's a zombie. He is a absolute fucking degenerate zombie who has, there's no reason his faith in humanity needs to be justified or validated because he himself is not acting like a normal human being. He is acting like a zombie.
What? Like, I think movies represent a beautiful moment in time where you get an assessment of the culture.
Yeah. To me, a big movie is like a little blink snapshot of where we are culturally.
That's why Obsession is doing so well. You know, that's why people who actually have their thumb on the pulse of society and actually have a thumb on the pulse of what people like and what people are thinking about, Obsession was sort of a modicum of that. Supergirl shows you that Hollywood does not have their thumb on the pulse. So why Obsession is successful and why Supergirl is not is because Supergirl is everything wrong with society, and Obsession is just a guy who knows what people are thinking about now. Not the same.
Well, I guess when a movie comes out that you like, Soy, but everyone else hates, the culture is in a bad place, right?
It's such an obvious story of a broken person that is suffering. And the most things I've seen are like, I wouldn't want my daughter to look up to an alcoholic. Fuck you.
And here we go.
It's like, why not? I know I wouldn't want my kids to look up to an alcoholic. Because I know I don't drink. I'm straight edge. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I certainly wouldn't want my kids looking up to somebody who is an avid alcoholic, who makes their entire identity about being an alcoholic, and who essentially acts like a dick because of it. Also, before you start saying Critical Drinker is a good dude. He has a personality. He has a funny little character, but he's not a dick. And I met him in person. He's not a dick. So before you say Critical Drinker, I'm about to shoot down that argument real fast.
Like that's an insane perspective on Trump.
I would hope that if my kids can understand the depth of pain that she went through, they'd be empathetic. But you as a grown fucking man can't. Like, you don't deserve to watch movies.
So you don't deserve to watch movies if you dislike drunk Supergirl and, God forbid, don't want your own daughter to grow up to be like Paris Hilton in her crazy heyday.
Not only are they intentionally being fucking daft, but they're maligning people's pain and suffering for the sake of their own fucked argument. And it's
This is a fictional character we're talking about. This is a fictional character. You know Supergirl's not a real person, right? The only people that act like her are degenerate scumbag fucking zombies too. So these are choices made by the person doing them. They're self-inflicted choices. So you're not going to give any responsibility to that person? All right.
just embarrasses me. We're the same fucking species, these chuds.
Wow.
Just look at the way he's talking about the fans, the disdain he has for the fans. And again,
Right.
This is the host of DC Studio Showcase saying this on a live stream. Imagine how they must talk about the fans privately behind closed doors over at James Gunn's DCU. If Soy here is comfortable coming out on a live stream and saying this publicly, I think what we just heard is a watered down, slightly less offensive version of what they really think and say personally.
You know, it's just like, I'm so ashamed to be human a lot, much less American.
Well, we're ashamed that you're American, and we're ashamed that you're a human too. Don't worry, you're not the only one ashamed. We're ashamed for you.
Less 2026 American.
So much for truth, justice, and the American way. Don't see
Right.
that coming back anytime soon.
Right?
So, like, every time a movie comes out, I go like, what's it like out there? And then it sucks.
You know what we're watching here, I think? We're watching a guy who honestly thought that James Gunn's DCU was going to reach the same heights that the MCU did in its prime. Civil War, Infinity War times. And he was going to get to be a part of it. As the co-host of DC Studio Showcase, he was going to get to interview all the stars, interview the directors, James Gunn, be a part of every movie and TV series release. It was going to be peak MCU all over again with James Gunn's DCU. But unfortunately, after this horrendous start, we can all see that it's not going to happen. And as for Soy, you can just see it on his face that he realizes that it's never going to happen as well.
Not gonna happen! No, not gonna happen!
Anyway, that's all I got for today, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out some of the other content already up on the channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.
Go give Mr. Grizzy a follow, a sub, I love Mr. Grizzy. So go give him some love and tell him Deadshot Isaac sent you. Yeah, DCU is cooked. It's unfortunate. I really wish it was the MCU all over again. I wish it was, but it's just not happening, and it's nobody's fault but James Gunn's. There's nobody else to blame. You can't blame the fans. You can't blame the Orange Man. You can't blame Republicans or MAGA or whatever. Nobody came out to watch this movie, and so there's nobody else to blame. It sucks, but couldn't happen to better people. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in another video very soon. Don't smoke crack.